friends, welcome to Ecoholics YouTube channel. My name is Avinash Agarwal, and in this video I'll be discussing with you economics current affairs for 29th August 2024. So friends, I have selected 3 articles from the Mint newspaper for discussion. पहला आर्टिकल जो है वो बात कर रहा है regarding unified lending interface. So in the last 2 days we have already discussed quite a bit about unified lending interface. So this article is not going to give you fundamentally new information, right? But it is going to be a nice recap, right, of everything that we have already discussed, right? And it will cement your understanding. So that's why this article is slightly important in my opinion, right? Just hold on for 1 second, guys. Okay. Second article is about fintechs in India, right? So there is a global fintech fest or GFF kind of event that is happening in Bombay, right? So Shaktikanta Das gave a speech over there, okay, and in that speech he spoke about the need to balance innovation and prudence, right? So this is also an important topic of discussion. And third article is from the Wall Street Journal. Typically I don't pick up articles from the Wall Street Journal because they may or may not be related to the examination that we are giving. But आज का जो article है, it is talking about high youth unemployment rate across Asia, right? So it's giving us a fair sense of what's happening in, let's say, country like India from, let's say, a Western point of view, but it is also telling us what's happening in Bangladesh, in China, in Indonesia, right? And it's a very good article. ठीक है, तो ये 3 article, 3 topic है, इनके बारे में हमारे को आज बातचीत करनी है, right? So let us start with the discussion. If there is any doubt, please feel free to ask your questions in the comment section, and I'll be able to answer these questions of yours. Okay, chalo. Let us start. So unified lending interface. So see, the basic idea is very clear. कि एक public technology platform है, right? It will be a part of your digital public infrastructure, DPI. We have used this term DPI quite a bit. Digital public infrastructure के नाम पे we have spoken about Jandhan, Aadhaar, mobile. We have talked about direct benefit transfer, right? We have talked about Aadhaar enabled payment that is happening. So digital public infrastructure जो इंडिया में create हुआ है, right? So we will be adding one more layer on top of this digital payment infrastructure, and that will be your ULI, that is unified lending interface. ठीक है? So frictionless credit का जो सपना है हमारा, that will become true because of ULI. What do I mean by frictionless credit? That fast lending can happen, right? Quick decisions can be taken by lenders whether to lend or not, how much to lend, right? Not asking for too much documentation, pulling documentation such as land records automatically from data service providers, right? So जो traditional banking का हमारे दिमाग में image है कि you have to run to the bank branch 5 times, 10 times, this document, that document, this proof, that proof, right? हाथ जोड़ना पड़ेगा, पैर पकड़ना पड़ेगा, right? बोलना पड़ेगा, समझाना पड़ेगा, बताना पड़ेगा, especially if you're a farmer, especially if you're an MSME guy, right? वो सब बंद हो जाएगा, वो सब बंद होना चाहिए. पैसा आपको ऑटोमेटिकली मिलना चाहिए, तुरंत जवाब मिलना चाहिए, रियल टाइम बेसिस के ऊपर मिलना चाहिए, विदाउट हेडेक मिलना चाहिए. आई एम नॉट नेसेसरली सेइंग दैट एवरीबॉडी शुड बी गिवन मनी. नो, everybody should not be given money. Those who are credit worthy should be quickly identified as credit worthy, and their requirements should be quickly taken care of by the banking system, and that is what ULI can do. ULI ke we have done pilots, right? We have done pilot on 5 loan segments, right? So we have done a pilot on Kisan credit card. We have done pilot on unsecured MSME lending, personal lending, as well as home finance. 12 banks have already participated, right? 31 different data services have already been integrated. 7 states have participated. So an extensive pilot has been done in the last 1.5 years, let's say, right? So last 1 year के अंदर जो है extensive pilots have been done. ठीक है? Why is it that this ULI is so important now? Why is it that we are talking about it, right? So the idea came when we started a pilot project. So 2022 के अंदर एक pilot project start हुआ था कि किसान क्रेडिट कार्ड एंड डेयरी लोन्स, दीज आर वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. सरकार जो है किसान क्रेडिट कार्ड को बहुत पुश कर रही है कंसिस्टेंटली इन द लास्ट 10, 15, 20 ईयर्स जब से उसको लॉन्च करा गया है. एंड डेयरी लोन्स को सरकार बहुत पुश कर रही है, राइट? कंसिस्टेंटली गवर्नमेंट इज पुशिंग बोथ दीज काइंड्स ऑफ लोन्स. इसके टारगेट रखे जाते हैं, right? There is an expectation that you will disburse X amount of money through these loans. You will give these loans in X numbers, right? So there are always these expectations. So there is always a problem when you're doing everything manually. So the idea was that let us do an end-to-end digitalization of both these categories of loans, KCCs and dairy loans, right? Let's make our lives that much more easier. Let's make disbursal that much more easier. Okay. So the idea was that let's do an end-to-end digitalization. And ये end-to-end digitalization करते करते we kind of got this idea, right, that why should we not kind of make this something which is applicable for a variety of loans that are being given for, let us say, rural segment, farmer segment, MSME segment, right? And hence this idea that let's try to create a platform which will offer frictionless loan journey without the need for multiple integrations, right? What do I mean by multiple integration? That let us say that you are a bank, ठीक है, तो आपको अगर 31 डिफरेंट डेटा सर्विस प्रोवाइडर्स के साथ अलग से खुद बैठ के इंटीग्रेशन करना पड़ेगा, वहां से डेटा फेच करके आपको अपने प्लेटफॉर्म पे लाके डिसाइड करना पड़ेगा क्या करना है क्या नहीं करना है, एंड इफ ऑल बैंक्स हैव टू डू दिस एक्सरसाइज ऑन देयर ओन, देन दिस इज जस्ट अ वेस्ट ऑफ टाइम, मनी एंड डुप्लीकेशन ऑफ एफर्ट व्हिच कैन बी इजीली अवॉइडेड, ठीक है? तो यही चीज जो है आपका यूएलआई करवा कर देगा दोस्तों. What is ULI doing? Like I explained to you, that data which is required to assess credit worthiness of a borrower is sitting with central government, state government, account aggregator banks, CICs, digital ID authorities, right? And it is a hugely cumbersome task to fetch the data from them, right? So if we can create a platform जहां पर ये सारा डेटा को हम आपको गैदर करके लाकर दे दो, उसके आगे का काम आप कर लो, life will become that much more easy. This will revolutionize banking from the lending point of view. Already from, let us say, a payments point of view, revolution has happened. We don't need more revolution in that right now. But from a lending point of view, this will be revolutionary. So a new trinity, right? New trinity is getting created, right? In India, we love trinity, don't we? Right? Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh is a trinity, right? JAM, Jandhan, Aadhaar, mobile became a trinity. Lal, Bal, Pal were a trinity, right? So in India, we love trinities. So we are creating a new trinity, JAM, UPI, ULI, right? So ऐसे करके एक trinity बन जाएगी, right? So it will be very very helpful for both the consumers as well as the lenders. Those who are borrowers उनके लिए भी helpful हो जाएगा, जो lend कर रहे हैं उनके लिए भी helpful हो जाएगा. For consumers you will get frictionless tailored credit, right? For lenders you will get network effect, standardization, efficiency, innovation, scalability and increasing reach. So everybody will basically be a winner over here, right? There will be a lot of scope for innovation as well. So this is my submission, first article का done, ठीक है? इस first article के basis के ऊपर I want you to try out this particular question, and most importantly I want you to give me a feedback regarding this discussion that we are having on a daily basis. I want that feedback, right? Which helps me be on the right track. If I'm doing an okay job, write that I'm doing an okay job. If I'm doing a good job, write that I'm doing a good job. I want comments, I want reactions, because without comments and reaction मजा नहीं आता है दोस्तों, right? So unified lending interface के बारे में बात करेंगे. We analyze the potential impact of this ULI on banking sector and how can it transform credit delivery, especially for agriculture and MSME borrowers, considering its pilot phase outcomes. तो ये बहुत ही नैरो क्वेश्चन है, आपको एग्जाम में शायद इतना नैरो क्वेश्चन नहीं पूछेंगे, बट इफ यू हैव आंसर्ड दिस काइंड्स ऑफ क्वेश्चंस, देन जो भी एग्जाम के अंदर आपको थोड़ा सा ब्रॉडर क्वेश्चन पूछेंगे, दैट यू विल बी इजीली बी एबल टू टैकल इन माय ओपिनियन, राइट? सो दिस इज माय फर्स्ट आर्टिकल डन. सेकंड आर्टिकल के बारे में बात करते हैं, राइट? दिस इज अगेन अ वेरी हॉट टॉपिक. This is talking about fintechs and what do you say, innovation and prudence, right? That is what this article is speaking about, ठीक है? So इंडिया के अंदर 11,000 फिनटेक्स है दोस्तों, 11,000, 11,000 फिनटेक्स आर देयर इन इंडिया, राइट? सो ऑब्वियसली वी नीड टू बैलेंस इनोवेशन एंड प्रूडेंस, ठीक है? नाउ व्हाई इज इट दैट दिस टॉपिक इज सो हॉट? दिस टॉपिक इज सो हॉट बिकॉज आज के दिन क्या ना, एवरीबडी वांट्स पर्सनलाइज्ड, एफिशिएंट, सीमलेस एक्सपीरियंस. Because what has happened is now that when we go to Zomato, now Zomato knows what food I want, what food I ordered last time, right? What food I may be thinking about right now, maybe because I'm chatting with someone and Zomato knows what I'm chatting about somehow, right? Similarly, Amazon knows what I want to buy, what have I purchased, what I may want to buy, right? So what is happening is now कि a lot of our apps and platforms know so much about us that they are able to give us personalized, efficient and seamless experience, ठीक है? And ये चीज अब हमारी आदत बन चुकी है. Every aspect of life के अंदर we want personalization, efficiency and seamlessness, right? अब finance के अंदर personalization, efficiency and seamlessness मतलब your data needs to be given to someone, that someone will use your data, analyze your data, right? They will, do some processing on your data, and then on the basis of that they will give you personalization, efficiency and seamlessness. But आपका डेटा किसके पास जा रहा है, वो डेटा सिक्योर है कि नहीं है, फिर आपको फ्रॉड होएगा, मिस सेलिंग होएगी, आपको चीजें चिपकाई जाएंगी. सो द आइडिया ओवर हियर इन दैट इन फाइनेंशियल स्पेस पर्सनलाइजेशन, एफिशिएंसी एंड सीमलेसनेस की रिक्वायरमेंट होना एक बहुत ही 5 स्टार रिक्वायरमेंट है, बट इट कम्स अटैच्ड विद डेटा प्राइवेसी एंड सिक्योरिटी ब्रीच which is a 5 star problem to solve. It comes attached with the possibility of mis-selling and fraud, which is another 5 star problem to solve. So we cannot really go for personalization, efficiency and seamlessness without guardrails. हमारे को थोड़ा सा सोच समझ के इसके ऊपर काम करना पड़ेगा, is what शक्तिकांता दास is saying, right? So टेक्नोलॉजी यूज करके रियल टाइम मॉनिटरिंग करना चाहते हैं और रेगुलेटरी कंप्लायंस हम करना चाहते हैं, ये भी टेक्नोलॉजी का एक एप्लीकेशन है. Technology is not just meant for making lenders and consumers का life easier. Technology is also meant to make regulator का life easier, is what he is saying. अभी RBI ने, if the examiner ever asks you, right, कि क्या चल रहा है भैया फिनटेक में बताओ, so RBI जो है फिनटेक को टाइट करता रहता है, रेगुलर बेसिस पे टाइट करता है, राइट. अब जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल दे टाइटन द रूल्स फॉर P2P lending sector, they slapped penalties on 2 industry platforms, they imposed severe business restrictions on Paytm Payments Limited. They directed a leading card network to stop card-based business-to-business payments. Right? So why have these difficult steps been taken? बीच में अभी कोटक महिंद्रा बैंक को उन्होंने आड़े हाथ ले लिया था. उसके पहले थोड़ा वो मास्टर कार्ड वगैरह को जो है उन्होंने थोड़ा सा आड़े हाथ ले लिया था. So why is it that RBI keeps doing this? Because they keep trying to remind everybody that boss, we are looking at you. Okay. So if you think that you are gliding on a highway and you can drive at 180 degrees, 180 kilometers per hour, right? So not going to work, right? Because this financial system which has been created with a lot of toil, and we cannot put it to risk because of your innovation and you want to be first. That's why, right? So that's the kind of approach that you need to take in your examination when you're talking about fintechs. Another aspect that RBI wants to work upon is that we have created UPI, we have created RuPay, right? And India level के country के अंदर we have been able to launch this very successfully. And India is a subcontinental size country with a massive population and its own problems. In India like country अगर हमने इसको successful बना दिया है, so UPI network and RuPay can become successful at the global level. So that is another ambition of RBI, right? Coming back to my topic, why is fintech and digital finance and everything so popular right now? Because of cheap data, because of cheap smartphones, right? So digital payments have shot up like anything. I'm not going to look at these numbers. You look at it on your own time, that how many UPI transactions, what is the value of UPI transaction. You just need a couple of numbers, right? So obviously बात है कि UPI is a super hit, blockbuster है दोस्तों, right? Mega blockbuster है UPI. Everybody knows that. Like I explained to you that fintech 11,000 है इंडिया के अंदर, $6 बिलियन का इन्वेस्टमेंट 2 साल के अंदर आया है. In last 2 years alone, $6 billion worth of investment. $6 billion is huge amount of money. 17,000 करोड़ रुपया होता है दोस्तों, 17,000 करोड़ रुपया, राइट? क्या गलत बोल दिया, बहुत ज्यादा, उससे ही बहुत ज्यादा होता है. बिकॉज $1 बिलियन इज 8.5 थाउजेंड करोड़ इंटू 6 50,000 करोड़. 50,000 करोड़ वर्थ ऑफ इन्वेस्टमेंट हैज कम इन फिनटेक्स, राइट? सो आरबीआई सेड कि अभी चलो फिनटेक के सेक्टर को रेगुलेट करते हैं. सो फॉर दैट आरबीआई सेड दैट क्रिएट एन एसआरओ. व्हाट इज एसआरओ? Self regulatory organization. You regulate yourselves, you create your own rules, guardrails, so that you all are on the right track. Because if we create a regulatory organization for you, if we create all the rules for you, then maja nahi aata hai. All the regulators in India today, whether it is SEBI or IRDAI or RBI, every regulator, even the government, expects organizations and entity to indulge in some kind of self regulation, right? So fintech association for consumer empowerment जो है पहला self regulator है, which has been acknowledged by the RBI, right? तो recognized by the RBI. तो this is a step in the right direction, right? Because this SRO structure के बारे में बात RBI ने last year अगस्त में करी थी, और उनको 3-4 एप्लीकेशन आए, उसमें से they selected one as a recognized regulator. They will select more going ahead, right? तो ऐसे करके this is again a step in the right direction, ठीक है? So fintech community के लिए self regulatory structure is in place, guidelines are in place, and they know what is expected out of them, and they know that if they don't follow the dictats of RBI, then what can happen to their business models. They know that as well, right? So every businessman or businesswoman in India today who is operating in fintech or insurtech or payment tech or any of these sectors, they know that they can innovate, provided that they have to be in the right direction in their own conscience. Everybody knows what they are doing right and wrong, and if they are doing wrong, then their business model will be at a difficult point at some point of time or the other, ठीक है। सो दिस इज माय डिस्कशन ऑन फिनटेक। तो ये डिस्कशन के बेसिस के ऊपर प्लीज ट्राई टू अटेम्प्ट दिस क्वेश्चन that why do we need to balance between innovation and risk management in financial sector. So I have explained this very well to you, and how can institutions and fintechs address emerging challenges, right? So जैसे कि मैंने आपको बताया कि regulator can use a tech first approach, regulator can be vigilant, and you can give the examples of the kind of steps that they have taken. The players themselves can be vigilant, can be a part of SROs, you can explain that as well. तो ऐसे करके आपको explain करना है सारी चीजों को. You can add more masala from your side, right? This is just the start of the answer, this article, but you can do a much better job if you want. ठीक है. हाँ, coming to the third article, let's talk about what Wall Street Journal is trying to say regarding the unemployment scenario in Asian economies. So why did I select this article? Because of this sensationalist headline, right? That a time bomb threatens Asian economy. तो मैं डर गया, मैं बोला देखो तो सही भाई ऐसा कौन सा टाइम बॉम्ब जो है थ्रेटन कर रहा है एशियन इकोनॉमीज को, राइट? सो टाइम बॉम्ब की बात हुई तो मैं देखा कि तो दे वर टॉकिंग अबाउट यूथ अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट, बोला जेन्युइन है, जेन्युइन इशू. यूथ अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट is a time bomb because we keep talking about demographic dividend, right? That we have young population, we have young labor force, which will help us in growing fast, which will increase our GDP, which will increase our production, and blah 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 blah. Where are the jobs? Where are the jobs? And ठीक है चलो jobs है तो we are not talking about, with no disrespect, Zomato, Swiggy kind of jobs, right? Where are full-time jobs? Where are good jobs? Where are jobs with social security, which are available, let us say 8 hours of the day for, let us say 300 days of the year, right? Where are those jobs? Okay, those are the kind of jobs that we need, and we need them in good numbers. Okay, so youngest workers in Asian economies are battling stubbornly high rates of unemployment. ये problem है. बांग्लादेश के अंदर तो देखा ही दोस्तों आपने क्या हुआ. Now बांग्लादेश is poster boy of economic growth. Last 10 years के अंदर they have been consistently averaging decent growth. 6.5% economic growth a year consistently उन्होंने grow करा है. Consistently they have been exporting. Their garment industry, textile industry, labor intensive industries are doing fantastically well. Despite that, youth unemployment has climbed to 16%. चाइना एंड इंडिया के अंदर भी आप देखेंगे तो सिमिलर परसेंटेज ऑफ यंग पीपल जो है उन लोगों के पास अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट है, राइट? इंडोनेशिया के अंदर अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट रेट इज अराउंड 14%, मलेशिया के अंदर इट इज अराउंड 12.5%, राइट? इफ यू लुक एट दीज कंट्रीज इन टोटलिटी, तो इन कंट्रीज के अंदर देयर आर 30 मिलियन पीपल, देयर आर 30 मिलियन पीपल हु आर एज्ड बिटवीन 15 एंड 24 हु आर लुकिंग फॉर जॉब. पूरी दुनिया के अंदर इन दिस एज ग्रुप देयर आर 65 मिलियन जॉबलेस पीपल. सो पूरी दुनिया के अंदर इस एज ग्रुप के अंदर देयर आर दीज मेनी जॉबलेस पीपल, और इसका थोड़ा सा आधा जो है इज एग्जिस्टिंग ओनली इन दीज 4-5 एशियन कंट्रीज, राइट? This is a massive problem, guys, right? अभी ये youth unemployment is not so much of a problem in US, Japan and Germany. वहां पर youth को job मिल जाती है, but in Italy and Spain situation is even worse. 25% है दोस्तों youth unemployment in Italy and Spain. 25% है. So you understand the scope of the problem. So whenever examiner ever talks about youth unemployment to you, right? So be kind to your own country, but don't be too kind to your own country, right? So recognize the problem, identify the problem, but at the same time say that it is also others problem, but it is our problem because हमारा population बहुत ज़्यादा है दोस्तों, right? Now the question is that if you don't solve this problem, what is the consequence? The consequence is that Viksit Bharat and all of these things sound really nice, hunky dory. कैसे बनेंगे विकसित भारत without jobs, without income, without per capita income increasing, right? So your development ladder के ऊपर movement upward is going to be imperiled if you are not able to create jobs, right? अब बांग्लादेश के अंदर क्या हुआ वो तो आपने देखा ही है दोस्तों, राइट? कि वहां पर यूथ ने जो है एक 15 साल से सिटिंग प्राइम मिनिस्टर को फोर्स कर दिया रिजाइन करने के अंदर, राइट? एज पर द राइटर ऑफ दिस आर्टिकल इन वॉल स्ट्रीट जर्नल, प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी ही लॉस्ट हिज पार्लियामेंट्री मेजॉरिटी इन इलेक्शन बिकॉज जो यूथ का जो आक्रोश था, जो एंगर था, फ्रस्ट्रेशन था, कहीं ना कहीं वो भी एक फैक्टर था. वेदर आप माने या ना माने वो एक अलग चीज है, किसी का पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू आप सुन लीजिए, राइट? So definitely इंडिया का जो यूथ अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट है इट हैज कम डाउन इन रिसेंट ईयर्स, बट इट इज स्टिल अबव द ग्लोबल एवरेज. चाइना ने तो डेटा पब्लिश करना बंद कर दिया यूथ अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट स्टैटिस्टिक का, बिकॉज वहां पर ऐसा मालूम पड़ा कि 20% ऑफ यूथ जो है उनके पास जॉब नहीं है, तो उन्होंने डेटा ही पब्लिश करना बंद कर दिया. इंडोनेशिया के अंदर देयर इज सॉलिड इकोनॉमिक ग्रोथ हैपनिंग, बट दैट सॉलिड इकोनॉमिक ग्रोथ इज हैपनिंग बिकॉज ऑफ माइनिंग एंड मिनरल प्रोसेसिंग. एंड हम जानते हैं माइनिंग एंड मिनरल प्रोसेसिंग में अभी हैवी मशीनरी इज गेटिंग डिप्लॉयड मोर देन लेबर फोर्स. So growth is happening in Indonesia, no doubt, but that growth is not the kind of growth that is really going to help people create jobs, create income, create per capita income, right? जैसे फॉर एग्जाम्पल लीजिए, सो देर इज लॉट मोर डेटा, ठीक है. सो 71% ऑफ एम्प्लॉयड इन साउथ एशिया हैड इनसिक्योर वर्क, राइट. सो दे मीन दे आर सेल्फ एम्प्लॉयड और इवन टेम्प जॉब्स, राइट. सो द आइडिया ओवर हियर इज कि एक तो लोगों के पास काम नहीं है, और जिनके पास काम है ना, उनके पास भी अच्छा काम नहीं है, राइट. सो दिस इज द प्रॉब्लम, राइट. So the question again is that is the ladder of prosperity broken, right? So Bangladesh has definitely been able to pull itself out of poverty. It has definitely been able to become the clothing factory of the world, producing, unimaginable quantities of jeans, shirts, and sweaters, God knows what not. Yet millions have left the farm for factories, but there are so many more who need jobs, right? So the idea over here is that now what does a country like Bangladesh or India needs to do? Electronics, heavy machinery, semiconductors, they need to move up. Because क्या आज बांग्लादेश का यूथ और इंडिया का यूथ का एस्पिरेशन इज नॉट टू डिफरेंट. क्या आज बांग्लादेश का यूथ क्या 12 घंटा जो है टेक्सटाइल की फैक्ट्री के अंदर काम करना चाहता है क्या, इन अ स्वेट शॉप काइंड ऑफ कंडीशन at very low wages? Nobody wants to do that in Bangladesh also. I mean, of course people are doing it, no disrespect, right? But you ask educated youth, do they want to do that? तो उनके लिए we need to create jobs. उनके लिए we need to create job. So Japan, South Korea and China, what did they do? So they created clothing factories, garment factories, but then they moved up the value chain. They started manufacturing electronics, heavy machinery, semiconductor. So value added production में they went, right? That's what the idea over here is. But now other countries who are trying to copy that model, उनके लिए उतना आसान नहीं होने वाला है, right? Because China is there as a hyper efficient manufacturer of everything. So if you try to produce something, will automatically compete with China, right? Developed economies such as US, they are not open to importing anymore. Matlab they are importing, but they are not very enthusiastic about that idea because they want to bring production home, bring jobs home, right? So automation की वजह से सब कुछ change होने लग रहा है, right? And Bangladesh के अंदर भी, not necessarily targeting Bangladesh, but countries such as India and Bangladesh के अंदर भी, even your garment production is becoming more capital intensive than, let's say, manpower intensive. Okay, so that's the basic idea you need to keep in mind. Okay, now people in Asia, whether in India or Bangladesh, they are pursuing higher education, they are getting degrees, right? They want white collar jobs more than anything else in design, marketing, technology, finance. Production कौन करेगा? And these white collar jobs, right, design, marketing, technology, finance, especially in MNCs, these white collar jobs are still concentrated primarily in their home countries, right? And even if these white collar jobs are there, they will not solve your employment problem जो कि आपकी population के हिसाब से problem है, right? अब जैसे talking about India, so we have a fantastic IT industry, but उसमें कितने ही लोग काम कर लेंगे? And the biggest point is that artificial intelligence is coming, right? Now 40% of जो country के college graduates under the age of 25, they are unemployed compared to 11% of the same group who are literate but haven't completed primary school. यानी कि अगर आपने पढ़ लिख लिए ना, तो that is becoming a curse. If you read this statistic correctly, that 40% of graduates under the age of 25 are unemployed compared to 11% of those who are literate, यानी कि वो पढ़ना लिखना जानते हैं लेकिन उन्होंने स्कूलिंग और एजुकेशन कंप्लीट नहीं करी है. जब आदमी स्कूलिंग एजुकेशन कंप्लीट नहीं करता ना, तो उसको जो काम मिलता है वो करता है, बिकॉज सर्वाइवल इज एट स्टेक. But the moment you have completed your education, you become aspirational. You feel that it's okay to wait it out for the best opportunity rather than to just accept any opportunity that is coming my way, right? So the point over here is, right, that this is what Kunal Sen is saying. Who is Kunal Sen? Director of United Nations University World Institute for Development Economics Research in Finland. He is saying that the moment you are educated, you don't want to do a job that your parents were doing, right? And that's the whole problem, right? Aspirations. This is, in one word, the problem can be defined as aspirations. How do you solve this problem? This article के अंदर I am reasonably sure that there isn't a lot of solution. There are a lot of case studies which I am sure you can go through. But the problem is that you need to create jobs. We need to create jobs, right? I wanted to try and attend this kind of a question, that there is, yes, persistently high unemployment rate. So you should be able to substantiate and prove that this is true, right? What are the primary challenges facing these countries? So I have already explained the primary challenges to you, that on the supply side, we don't have good enough jobs getting created. And on the demand side, the demand for good jobs is shooting up like anything, right? So you have to explain the supply side problem in terms of job creation. we are not able to go up the value chain. There is a China, there is, you know, countries who don't want to import anymore. Production is going back abroad, right? Technology is getting evolved. So supply side ke char panch problems I've already explained to you in this article. From the demand side, you have to explain that people are unwilling to settle into, more laborious jobs, more difficult to do jobs. They want white collar jobs. They are highly educated. You have to explain that, educated unemployment ka problem. So on both sides, you have to explain the problem, and then you have to try to come up with some strategies that could be used to, let us say, improve this scenario, right? So the last part is, that is where you'll have to apply your mind a little bit, because this article is not directly answering that part, which I'm sure we have discussed in some other articles, in some other videos, but you'll have to apply your mind a little bit. So this is my submission for today, guys, right? Good discussion, in my opinion, a rapid fire discussion of three important issues with you. Hope that you have learned something new and you will be practicing a lot of answer writing. With this, we'll bring this session to an end. We'll meet again tomorrow. Thank you so much. All the best, and Jai Hind to all of you.